My friends, what is going on? Hope you had a wonderful day in the market today. I mean, if you didn't have a wonderful day in the market today, man, the market may not be your thing. Virtually green across the board in everything. This video is going to be an AMC update. AMC had a wonderful day, up over 15% today. And it just can't have a day like this without me kind of making a video to let you guys know sort of what I'm seeing and everything like that. So before we jump into the video, first things first, nothing I say is financial advice. I'm just trying to provide education. I want you to make the best decision for you and your portfolio that you possibly can. I took a lot of heat today because I was telling people, don't diamond hand options and take profits and things of that nature. And it's just, man, Twitter, you guys are big mad about nothing on that kind of stuff. So I'm just trying to help. If you don't want to take profits, man, just don't take them. All right. Do your thing, whatever that works. If bag holding's your thing, man, do it. All right, trade your plan. So, if you haven't followed me on Twitter, please do so. Colin_Gladman, easiest way. I'll be tweeting out news that I think is important when it comes to stocks. Also be talking about intraday thoughts, things of that nature. But other than that, let's get into the video. All right. So we're going to start on a micro basis and then we're going to kind of zoom out to a more macro basis, okay? So the first thing that I want to talk about is today, all right? So AMC pretty much just opened, started ripping right out of the gate, and really it wasn't until the last, few minutes to an hour of the day that it had just a little bit of a pullback. So what we could be looking for is if we have some cooling off, some consolidation. You can do your fib from right here, from where the run started, up to the top. I made my fib lines a little bit thicker because people were kind of saying they were having a hard time seeing what I was talking about. So tried to make the lines a little bit thicker for you guys. So push up here this morning. And once again, this just shows you why fibs are so important. Every single fib on the ladder up showed support and resistance. So a most bullish case scenario would be coming back down to the 382 fib, okay? Another likely option is even the 618. So the 382 would be that 1373, which we talked about how important 1367 was on the way up. As far as a level to get through. So coming back down to like the 1370, retesting that level makes a lot of sense. On the shorter time frame, AMC does like the 786 retracement. So coming all the way down here, even down to $12.71, I still think would be a very acceptable, normal retracement. It's not its most bullish retracement, but it would be very normal. I was talking to some of my guys in the Discord about potentially this being like a wave one from a Elliott wave standpoint. So the retracement on that is normally like the 618 retracement. So if it came down here to $13 in the 13-cent area before starting to push back up, I would be totally okay with that. The reality is so long as we make some type of higher low or at least a double bottom, macro wise, we are going to stay bullish even if micro we're bearish. And that's kind of how I feel right now. Now, full disclosure, if you watched my video from, I think it was Tuesday. It's either Tuesday or Wednesday. I was both wrong and right at the same time. I said AMC was going to come back to its golden pocket, but I thought that would kind of be a slow bleed throughout the rest of the week. And instead, it all happened the very next day. It went all the way down to the golden pocket and then rebounded, and now we're seeing what happened after that. So, and we'll take a look at that here in just a second. Short term, micro, what I'd be looking at is right around 1373, even down here to the 1313. Either one of those, I'm still going to be very bullish on. If we go down to the 786 or we create a double bottom down here right around 1217, that's still okay. It's just not our most bullish scenario. So we made a higher high right here from our last resistance. Now we kind of want we want to make a higher low. Okay, so once again, that would be something kind of like this, either coming, there we go. So coming down here before bouncing back up, maybe a little bit of a push down, and then starting to push up through here, or coming down here, hitting the 618, and then at the end of the day, the further we retrace, the more layers, if you will, we're going to have to push back through on the way back up. So a minimal retracement would be our most bullish case scenario. Now, let's kind of back out here to a little bit more of a macro range. And here's kind of the range that we have been trading in, or not kind of, it is the range that we've been trading in really since, we started dropping back here, as far back as April 28th really is when we first, started getting in this range right here. So this was the move that I was talking about right here. We got rejected one more time, then came down here. We had a perfect touch on the 618, and we started pushing back up. Then that 1290 was a little bit of resistance, push back up, that 1367. I mean, look at these candles, my friends. I mean, at the exact levels that I was talking about is where you have the red candles, okay? So, once again, I mean, if you don't believe in TA, you're probably not watching my channel. So most of you probably believe in it. But I mean, if this is the type of stuff that doesn't make you believe in it, I just don't know what to tell you. All right? So this is what's playing out right here. So like I said, both the more micro 382 and the macro 382 are going to kind of take us to that same area. So to me, that level makes the most sense. Now, if the overall market is awful, then that can pull AMC down with it. I mean, once again, we saw a really good market day today. We saw what can happen with AMC on really good market days. Like I said, virtually everything was green. You could close your eyes and throw a dart and make money today. So that's going to be most bullish case would be a retest right down here. We could also retest this yellow trend line and push up from there, kind of making those J shapes that we've talked about before, okay? And that could even turn us into a cup and handle before pushing up again. So let's talk about where that is coming from. So let me hide that fib, and I'm going to go out to the 1 hour chart now. So there's really 4 lines that I think are really important right now for AMC, okay? The first one, let's talk about it, is going to be the yellow trend line. So this trend line right here, so I'm going to talk about each one of these. But the yellow trend line is going to be from the one that after we got the halt at 34, we took the tumble, then we kind of made the bear flag, and then we stumbled. And you can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we broke through on the 5th try of this downtrend. Okay, so holding above that would be fantastic. Now, GameStop and AMC both had a decent tumble after hours. Now, that potentially could recover tomorrow morning in pre-market. But I was just looking at futures, and futures look relatively ugly. Yeah, minus 114 on the Dow, NASDAQ minus 61. So futures kind of look ugly. So a little bit of pullback, option pinning, theta decay, all that kind of stuff tomorrow makes a lot of sense the way the market is looking right now. So AMC pulled back to about 1407. Yeah, so I mean we're a little below the trend line. So if we recover a little bit more, if we open up tomorrow morning, let's see here, right around that $14.18, right in that ballpark, we could just retest this trend line and like I said, kind of make a little bit of a rounded bottom shape, pushing back up those J shapes that we're talking about. So this one is a good one. We've broken through it. We want to stay above it, okay, to stay bullish. The next one that I want to talk about is going to be the red line. So the red line comes from our all-time low before the January run and is hitting all of these touch points right here. So long as we stay above this, which is going to be right around, that $12.28 level, so long as we kind of stay above that range, or we can have a little wick below or anything like that, but we don't want to have like a couple day close below this, because then that could lead to lower lows. So long as we keep this action going, that's going to be good for us too. The teal line right here, this is why I talk about 1450 so much. It is important here. It was important here. It was really important here. It was huge support here. Huge support here. Huge support here. Huge rejection here. Rejection here. And now we're coming up on it again. So 1450 is just a huge level for us to get over. Another reason it's a huge level, and I'll show you guys this real quick once I get rid of this. Sorry, I just don't like all the stuff being on it. But if we come up here and we pull up the visible range, so this is going to show you, and I'm going to have to go to the daily chart on this, but this is going to show you, where the most volume has been traded on AMC. And so we need to get above here so we can start exploring some of these volume pockets up in here, like up in the 20s and everything like that. So, north of this line is going to be good and bullish for AMC. South of this line, especially if we can't break it, then that's going to be eventually what would stumble us over into some lower lows. Obviously, right now, I don't think that's on the table, but everybody needs to be prepared for that, especially if you're in this play for the long haul. What I like about this macro trend line right here and that 1450 though is it's making an ascending triangle. So whoops, would help if I spell it correctly. So we'll just pull this one up right here. So a ascending triangle is going to be where you pretty much have a flat trend line on the top and then an ascending one. So the triangle is ascending, and typically, as you can see right here, it comes up in here, consolidates. That consolidation gets tighter and tighter and tighter, and then you have the breakout. So I'll hide this yellow line so you can see it better. So we come in here, consolidation in here. Hopefully we're going to get the break above. Okay. If we get the break above, then our next big macro trend line is going to be from the all-time high, which for right now is right around that $22, $23 range. That's a huge important level for my cycle chart, which I'll do that in my weekly update. So that's going to be overall kind of what I'm looking for, guys. So I am looking a little micro bearish. I think tomorrow might be a red day, really hurting some option players, things of that nature. And then potentially looking for, a more bullish turnaround next week. Okay. Now next week is going to be big because next week is a monthly options expiration date. And obviously those weeks can have a lot of volatility both up and down because of how many options are going to be in place. So I'll have a weekly outlook video sometime this weekend. That's kind of what I'm looking for. So macro wise, we're looking good, but we are also at some very important, crucial levels to start getting some upside. North of 1450, and I can be pretty bullish on AMC. South of 1450, and it could be a problem, okay? But that's what I'm looking for. Don't stress out. Trade your plan. do what's best for you. Lock in profits, bag hold, buy and hold, do whatever, floats your boat. Okay. I said today on Twitter, the only reason I ever even started posting was to try to help retail make more money. A ton of people in my Discord are making a ton of money, and a ton of people that I just talked to, some of you guys that watch this video on Twitter are starting to make a lot of money, and I cannot tell you how happy that makes me. Okay. So just like I have to do, if you see negative comments or people bashing you or anything like that for doing what's best for you in your portfolio, just pay no attention to them. All right, focus on the good, focus on the positive, focus on the green numbers that are starting to come back to your trading account. So that's what I'm looking for, my friends. Think most likely is a red day tomorrow. Definitely at least a pullback. And once again, a pullback is not necessarily a bad thing. This gives us, energy to start, pushing up towards the upside. So honestly, if we come in and like I said, look at this volume, guys. It's just not that great. Okay. Now, also go back here to our runs that started, our run to 34 and everything like that. It wasn't great volume there. And then it even actually dropped off a little bit after that. So we don't have to see it yet. This, like I said, this is not the volume. It was decent volume. It was above average volume, as you can see that. But it was not the volume, that we're looking for, for those big moves. But we've got a nice setup going on these more, micro time frames like the 15 minutes. The RSI was just getting hot. It got as high as 85 for a while today. So, but even when it cools off, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have, some massive pullback. Right here, it was at 1466, and once it started cooling off, it only came down here to like 1430. So, like I said, just relax, breathe, take it one day at a time. Don't let it frustrate you too much. I'll see you guys here in a few hours. All right? So, y'all have a good one. I'll see you soon. No stress. Oh, yeah. Like and subscribe, comment, whatever. All that stuff. Y'all be good.